be no need for guns because everyone's amazing. That would be the best.
100%.
But pretending that everyone's the best without fixing all the problems that make people fucked up in the first place while trying to remove guns so only outlaws have guns is the dumbest fucking strategy. And every city that pulls that off, like Chicago or Detroit or any of these places that try that shit, it's a disaster in a fucking war zone. You know, I mean, there's more people get murdered in Chicago every weekend than probably any city in the country.
The places with the strictest gun laws have the most violence.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. It doesn't work that way. You have to look at things realistically, and then you have to look at the root of the problem instead of looking at the actions. Don't look at the actions. Look at what causes the actions. Extreme poverty, despair, gang-ridden, crime-ridden neighborhoods. If you don't fix them, you're going to keep getting the same kind of people that come out of there. So that is where we spent $175 billion on Ukraine.
That's so crazy,
we could have easily fixed all of our inner city problems. We could have set up community centers, given people nutritious food. We could have completely renovated the schools, fixed the schools, brought in athletes and musicians and people to do seminars and show people how they can get out of things, teach people trades. Life skills. Teach people things that you can use, you can apply, you can get jobs, show them how to get jobs. You know, there's a lot of people that are fucked, man. They're fucked, and they have no one reaching a hand to try to help them out. And we could have done that.
Scarcity, dude. That's scarcity.
But is that on purpose?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think they're acting in the interest of the people that pay them. And the interest of the people that pay them is supporting the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, and then all the people that give them money keep getting more money from them and ignore all the other people. This is what I think they're doing. And this is what I think they're doing with voting as well. I mean, I think it's the exact same thing. The reason why they're letting in so many people and giving them money and putting them up in hotels and then asking for amnesty for all these people that came in. We need people. This is like this new narrative. We're not having enough babies. We need people to come into this country. Sure. Not that way.
Yeah.
Not where you don't know who the fuck they are.
We'd like to vet them.
15,000 of them are rapists. 14,000 of them are murderers, convicted murderers. This is just what we know.
It's like you're having a party and you're like, oh, there's not a lot of people there. Someone's like, I'll invite a bunch of people.
Go
and
to
you're
South Central. Open up the doors. Find the gangbangers.
Yeah,
bring them in.
But then you study a lot of this stuff, and it just gets into I think this kind of dark energy stuff, man. It's like if you study what they did to the Native Americans, if you study what they did to the black community, they run the same playbook over and over again, which is take if you study the natives, right? They killed all the buffalo. Which took away all the jobs from the guys.
That's a little more complicated. The Native American story is a little more complicated.
But it's
in that regard, because the buffalo thing, there's some evidence that some people were killing the buffalo to deprive the Native Americans of food, but most of it was just wanton and destructive recklessness and just greed, just horrible greed.
Yeah.
You know what they were doing it for? Pickled tongues. That was the primary thing they were getting. Before they were even getting skins from the buffalo, they were getting tongues. Tongues was one of the big things because you could take them, you could pickle them, and you could send them back east, and they were worth a lot of money.
That's crazy.
Because a buffalo tongue's that big.
Yeah.
So they're shooting this 1,800-pound animal for a fucking 10-pound tongue.
It's nuts. And then, the guys didn't have, the men didn't have jobs. And,
yes.
And the women always had jobs because they had children, and that was their job. And then you look at the black community. They did that exact same thing with the crack epidemic. They took away all the jobs. They flooded it with drugs. They locked up all the men, destroyed the community. And now you see that kind of happening in the bigger cities now, where it's I was flying on this one airline, I forget what it is, and they were like, we're training only women now to be pilots. And I'm like, is that the best idea right here?
How about train the best humans? If 100%. They happen to be women, great.
Yeah.
If they're not women, don't hire them.
So you're taking away
the best people.
Taking away from jobs from guys, and as men, we're.
But you know what that is? That's all that DEI stuff, where they have to in order to get funding, in order to there's a financial incentive,
right,
to meet DEI quotas. A lot of companies are abandoning them now.
Yeah, 100.
All of it happened during the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? We showed it yesterday on the podcast. Was it yesterday or the day before? The spike in racism.
Yeah.
And all these things on social
Dave
media.
Smith talk about that one time.
All of it comes up at 2012. It just starts at 2011 and just spikes. Thousands and thousands of
The articles, the mentions in the newspapers.
God. It just and all mentions on social media all of a sudden became a big thing. And then you have all your race hustlers who are taking advantage of these DEI quotas, and they provide seminars for exorbitant rates. This is the Al Sharpton hustle, the Jesse Jackson hustle. You know, all those, there's a lot of those guys that capitalize on white guilt and got in with a fucking nice fucking deal. Paycheck,
dude.
Big cash,
Yeah,
making
crazy.
big money. I want shrimp cocktail in the green room. You know, they for diversity, you know, hook me up with some Dom Perignon. And they, you know, they pulled it off. And that's what you're always going to have. You're always going to have people that take advantage of any kind of a situation like that. And I think, but that one seems to be, I don't think they realized the impact it was going to have. I think they were just trying to push a narrative that people were racist and like we should not be racist, and it was like a good talking point for the Obama administration. But then it spread to transphobia and homophobia. It just went wild.
Yeah, they're just looking for
xenophobia.
Stuff. I think it's there's a bigger play. And it's divide and conquer, and these are playbooks that plays in the playbook that they run to do this. And you know, it's like for me, it's like study the Cultural Revolution of China, study the Bolshevik Revolution of Russia. And I'm sorry, but people can think I'm crazy, but what the Nazis did to Germany, it's like these are playbooks to destroy these giant, powerful countries that you can't just invade because you'll get your dick kicked in. So you have to kind of destroy from inside. And I think everything you're talking about right now is out of a playbook of cultural Marxism, that this is how you destroy from the inside. And like that Yuri Bevanov or whatever his last name is. Dude, I just saw another video he did where like, and the guy ruined it by putting up all these stupid pictures and it made it way more weaponized than it needed to be. But man, he breaks down how you break down society. There's a couple videos, one of him sitting down, and then there's one where he's giving a seminar, and bro, he breaks down every single step. And you go, that's happening right now, that's happening right now,
they've destroyed the confidence that people have in America. They've destroyed the faith in America. People think that the American flag is racist.
It's so crazy.
It's so crazy. Schools will kick you out if you come in with an American flag t-shirt. Like, this is bananas.
It is
but yet
crazy.
Pride flags are mandatory in some places.
It's so crazy to me. And I'm working on this bit right now because like everything in television is like Civil War. There's got to be a Civil War. There's got to be movies. And I'm like, between who? Like the right and the left? That sounds like a curb stomping to me. It's like you're going to have like the rednecks versus the furries. And like, who's fighting here, dude? It's like ridiculous. And because like it's gotten so crazy that like